Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So today's story time, it's got a little bit of everything in it, okay? It's a little crazy, a little funny, actually pretty funny to look back on. Just all around everything, right? Now, this story time actually took place on Thanksgiving, back when I was 16. I was going to tell the story yesterday for Thanksgiving. Happy late Thanksgiving, by the way. But I had another video already done that I wanted to upload. So I figured I'd do my Thanksgiving special a day late. I figured it wouldn't matter that much because it's still a good story. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this one. If you do, leave a like on the video. And yeah, man, let's get into it. So today's story time all takes place back when I was 16 years old. Yeah. Now, as you all know, when I was 16, I was a little bit of a troublemaker, a little bit of a bad kid, I would say. Not the worst, okay? I've certainly met kids that were worse than me at 16 than I was, but still, I wouldn't say I was a golden child. And you all know that if you've watched this channel for more than like a day. But yeah, back when I was 16, it was around Thanksgiving time. It was 2 days before Thanksgiving, to be specific. And I was just in my room on Thanksgiving break from school, just playing some Xbox. That's how this all starts off. Just like a normal night, playing some Xbox in my room. When I start getting pretty bored, it's like 10 at night, my mom's going to sleep, I'm bored, I got nothing to do, I have no friends over, no one to really make plans with, so I start coming up with ideas. I'm like, okay, what can I do to entertain myself tonight? I can keep playing Xbox, which I've been doing for the last like 8 hours, that's not very fun. I can, go for a walk or something outside, it's cold out, that would kind of suck. Or, I have a third option, I want to smoke some weed. Yeah, at 16, that was kind of just where my mind was. That's always what I wanted to do. So yeah, I pulled open my phone, texted the person that I bought from at the time, and within like 10 minutes, we had scheduled meeting up. I told him my mom was home and she was going to sleep, so to pull down like 2 houses, 2 houses down, that way he wouldn't be right in front of my house and I could just go quickly meet him on the side of the street. So that's what I did. I went to his car after he got there, bought the weed. I didn't buy a whole lot, it was like 30 bucks worth. Came back to my house, and I had a pretty chill night after that, to say the least. Really nothing too interesting happened on this night, other than just me buying it. But that is where this all starts off. So, fast forward 2 days later. It's Thanksgiving time. Okay, I wake up, it's about noon. My mom's finishing up Thanksgiving dinner. We had plans to eat at around 3:30 p.m., so I had about 3.5 hours to, just do whatever I wanted until my family got there. And I'm just playing Xbox, just like I was 2 days ago. Just playing Xbox, killing time, and I was pretty bored, I can't lie. So, naturally, because I was bored, I get this idea. And it wasn't the best idea. Matter of fact, it was a terrible idea. But I get this idea. And the idea was, why don't I go for a little bike ride, like a mile down the road to where the woods are, smoke some weed, and then bike back and be really, really high and hungry for Thanksgiving dinner. Now, there was a million reasons why this was a bad idea, but I'll list the main 3. Number 1, I'm not the best at hiding the fact that I'm high, so, that wouldn't be a good idea. Number 2, my entire family was going to be there. That kind of adds on to, reason number 1. I'm not good at hiding it, and the more people that are in the room, the more chance that someone's going to know something's up. And number 3, I had a bunch of chores I had to do before they got there, and being high was not going to make doing those any easier. So yeah, all of that added up made it a terrible idea. There's even more reasons, I could go on forever, but those are just some of them. But I didn't care. So you know what I did? I opened my window, I snuck out, jumped on my bike, and I biked over to the woods by my house, and I started smoking by myself. And I smoked the rest of what I had, which was a lot for me at the time, because I didn't have that much of a tolerance. Prior to this, I hadn't smoked in quite a while, so my tolerance was pretty much near nothing. So I probably smoked almost a whole dub to the face, which, to some people that's not shit. But to me at the time, that was a lot. Like I said, I had no tolerance. Now after I get done, I knew I had made a mistake. After I got done smoking, I immediately felt how uncomfortably high I was. And I just knew that I was in for a very wild ride that night because it wasn't going to go away anytime soon. So after this, I jump on my bike and I start riding back to my house, and already, man, I got very unlucky. Halfway through the bike ride back to my house, I completely eat shit. I hit a rock or something on the sidewalk, and it threw me over my handlebars face first into the sidewalk. I cut my chin up, I cut my lip, I scraped up my hands and my wrists. I just, ate shit basically, right? And luckily I was so high that it didn't hurt a whole lot, kind of helped numb the pain a bit, but it definitely still hurt. And And I got up off the ground, picked my bike up, and I just kept going. I didn't have time to like sit there and, be sad about it. I had to get home and start setting the table and getting ready for my family to show up. So that's what I did. I got home, I ran into the front door. Luckily, my mom was in her room, so she didn't see me. I quickly just like went in the bathroom, cleaned up a little bit, washed the wounds on my chin and my wrists and my hands and my lip and stuff. And even though I washed them, it still was pretty obvious that I had a pretty bad fall, because when I walked out of there, they just started to bleed again. And my mom came into the kitchen and she saw me and she goes, "Austin, what the hell did you do?" And I was like, "I'm sorry. Like, I was outside. I was moving my bike and I fell." And she goes, "You fell moving it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was moving my bike to the side of the house because I left it in the driveway. And when I was moving it, I fell in the driveway and scraped myself up," which was a complete lie. I didn't want to tell her that I snuck out and went for a bike ride. So, I just told her I was moving it. But she did believe me. She believed me. And she's like, "Hold on, let me get my first aid kit." So she walks into the other room, grabs the first aid kit, comes back in, starts putting Neosporin on my wounds, putting some Band-Aids on them, making me a little more presentable, making sure I was, taken care of, being a good mom. And after that, she closes the first aid kit, puts it back in her room, comes back out, and she continues to just prepare the last of the dinner and stuff. And after that, I set the table, did the chores I needed to do. By the way, doing them high was awful. I kept forgetting what I needed to do because I had 3 things I had to do. I had to set the table, I had to go and put my dogs outside and then bring them back in and put them in the spare rooms. They didn't jump all over people. And then I had to vacuum. But I just kept forgetting what I had to do. Like, I set the table and I was like, "Mom, what else do I have to do?" And she's like, "Take the dogs outside, put them in the other room, then vacuum." And then I would like go take the dogs outside and then I'd bring them back in. And I'd be like, "All right, what else do I have to do?" And she'd be like, "You have to vacuum." And then I'd be like, "Okay, what rooms?" And she's like, "The living room, the dining room, the kitchen." And then I'd like get the vacuum come out and I'd be like, "What rooms again?" And she's like, "The living room, the kitchen, the dining room." And then I finally got it all done after asking her like 100 times. But yeah, I got the chores done, finally. Like I said, it was a little difficult, but I got through it. And shortly after that, my family started showing up. My uncle showed up first. He came in, said hi to me. Didn't have much to say. He was actually just pretty quiet. Didn't have anything to say about, my Band-Aids on my face and, the fact that my eyes were redder than they've ever been. But he didn't have anything to say about that. That was good. Then my aunt gets there and she walks in, she says hi, and then she looks at me and she goes, "Austin, what the hell happened to you?" And I was like, "Oh, I fell on my bike." And she's like, "What'd you do?" And I told her the same thing I told my mom. I was like, "I was just moving it and I like fell and I hit my chin and my, hands and my wrist." And she's like, "Holy crap, like, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." She's like, "All right, well, take it easy the next couple days." I'm like, "I will." And then like within the next 20 minutes, pretty much my whole family was there, right? And we started sitting down to eat. And this is where I would say the weed really started to show, okay? I'm not gonna say it kicked in around then because it kicked in immediately. But this is really where like my highness started to show. Because when we sat down to eat, all I could think about was eating. That was it. I was starving, dude. I was so excited to eat. We had everything there. We had turkey, stuffing, pasta, all the sides you could think of. Everything you could ever want was there, right? And your boy was very, very hungry for obvious reasons. So yeah, immediately I wasted no time. I start filling up my plate and scarfing food down. And my mom looks at me and she's like, "Austin, that's a lot of food. Are you going to eat that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll eat that." She goes, "Okay." So immediately I start scarfing this food down, right? And before I know it, I'd say 5-10 minutes, the plate was clear. I ate the whole thing. And immediately I start going back for seconds. And my mom's like, "Austin, are you sure you're gonna be able to eat all that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good." And she's like, "What's gotten into you? You never eat like this." Because before that, if I wasn't smoking, I'd eat like a bird. I'd like pick at my food throughout the day. I never really had like giant meals, right? And I was like, "I don't know, I'm just hungry." And my mom's like, "All right, well, all right." And she just kind of like, brushes it off. But then I went for a third plate. And everyone at the table kind of looked at me like, "Yo, what's wrong with this kid? Does he have a tapeworm or something?" And it's so funny because like I know deep down that I wasn't even that hungry anymore. But just how much I smoked, I was still hungry somehow. So I started eating my third plate. And my aunt looks over at me and she goes, "Austin, you sure you don't have the munchies or something? Because you look like you got the munchies. Third plate, eyes a little bit red, looking confused." And she was clearly making a joke. Like she was just joking, right? But I reacted in a way that I shouldn't have because it made it very obvious that I was high and I did have the munchies. After she said this, I like kind of like backed up and I was like, "What? I don't smoke. What are you talking about?" And I got really defensive. And she goes, I know, honey, it was a joke. Like, calm down." And then my uncle speaks up and he's like, well, with the way you just responded, now I'm thinking you are a little bit high. And he starts laughing. And once again, they were like playfully joking, but the paranoia is setting in now. And now I'm really terrified. I'm like, holy shit, they're onto me. I'm screwed. I'm like being obvious. And honestly, I was being obvious. Like, who eats 3 plates that quick and has giant red eyes? But I had 2 choices, either keep being defensive or just laugh with them. So I choose laugh with them, and I kind of laugh. And then my mom taps me on my shoulder, and she whispers in my ear, and she goes, your eyes are kind of red. Like, did you smoke tonight? And I look her in the eyes, like real scared. And I was like, no, they're red from the fall. Like when I fell on my face, they got red. And she goes, that's what I thought, but you are kind of acting suspicious. And I was like, no, I didn't smoke, I swear. Once again, full of shit, I was lying. And then my mom does something that I did not expect her to do. She like puts her arm around my neck, like, around my shoulder, and she pulls me in real close, and she goes to like kiss the top of my head. I'm just thinking she's being like sweet, and she smells my hair, like real deep. She takes a real deep breath of my hair. And I think I knew what she was doing. I think she was smelling me for weed. And when she backs up, she gives me this look of like, I know what you did. And I just knew I was fucked. From that minute forward, I knew I was so screwed. I knew that after dinner, she was going to pull me aside and I'd never hear the end of it. So for the rest of dinner, I just sat there paranoid and like sad and high and just uncomfortable. It went from being a really good high / Thanksgiving dinner to being like, I know that when this is over, I'm getting grounded forever. And I just counted the minutes basically. Like I just sat there paranoid, counting the minutes until dinner was over and until my family left so that my mom could essentially punish me. And I'd say after about 3 hours, my family finally went home. It took 3 hours for everyone to leave. And what was left was just, the table all set and stuff still. I had to clean that up. And it was just me and my mom, my brothers, and we all cleaned up the table. And after that, I went into my bedroom and I started playing Xbox because I thought, you know what? I'm going to get grounded anyway. This will be the last few moments I have of playing Xbox in peace. So I'm just going to play my Xbox until I get grounded. So I ended up playing Xbox for about 30 minutes. And after those 30 minutes, I get a knock on my bedroom door. The door opens. It's my mom. And she goes, hey, I have to talk to you about something. And I was like, okay, what is it? Playing stupidly. I didn't know what she was going to say. And she goes, at dinner tonight, be honest with me. Were you stoned? Now I had 2 choices. I lie to her or I be honest. And I don't know the outcome of either. If I lie to her, she might believe me. But if I tell the truth, that's me being honest and she might respect that and go easy on me with a punishment. But me being just a, stupid teenager and being young and not really thinking straight, I thought, you know what? I'm just going to lie. So I tell her, I'm like, Mom, I was not stoned. I didn't smoke. I was here all day with you. And she goes, really? Then how come when I was at the kitchen window earlier washing my hands, I saw you take off on your bike in the other direction? Now this shocked me, okay? I didn't know that she saw me leave. I didn't know that she saw me sneak out like that. I thought she didn't see me. I thought I snuck out successfully. And you could see it on my face when she said this. Like, I looked caught. And my mom goes, yeah, you didn't think I saw that, did you? And I was like, I didn't do that. And she goes, Austin, don't fucking lie to me. I saw you ride your bike away. You snuck out earlier. I saw it. So I just asked her, I'm like, Mom, why didn't you say something when I came home then? And I lied to you. I literally lied and said that I was moving the bike and that's why I fell. Like, I didn't know you saw me take off. And she goes, I was holding on to it. I was waiting until after dinner. I didn't want to ruin your Thanksgiving. But now that Thanksgiving's over, I'm going to ruin the rest of your night. You're grounded. And I was like, for what? And she's like, what do you mean for what? You snuck out and you smoked weed. I know you did. I saw you leave. And if you're going to lie to me about leaving, I know for a fact you're lying to me about being stoned. Plus you smelled like pot and your eyes were red. Like, I think I have all the evidence I need here. And I couldn't even argue with her. Like, she did. She had everything, okay? She saw me sneak out. She caught me lying to her about my bike. I told her I was moving it when in reality she saw me take off down the street riding it. Plus, yeah, my eyes were red and she smelled it on me. So it was pretty obvious that I was high and she had all of the evidence. So I couldn't really argue with her. I just said, all right, fine, ground me. And she goes, yep, I'm gonna. And I go, okay, how long? And she goes, I don't know, I'll think about it. But first, get off your Xbox. So I had to get off my Xbox. She unplugged it, took it from me, brought it into her room, and she didn't come back in my room the rest of the night. She just left me in there. I got to keep my phone, which was nice. She didn't take my phone, but my Xbox was gone, and that was my main source of entertainment in my room, so that kind of sucked. And this was one of the worst groundings I've ever had, and it's for one reason. So I ended up being grounded for only 2 weeks, but she didn't tell me how long I was going to be grounded for, which made it so much worse. because every day I thought, okay, maybe this is the last day it's going to be. Like maybe I'll get ungrounded when this day's over. And it never was. And it made 2 weeks feel like 2 years because every day just felt like an eternity because I thought that it would be the last day. So yeah, that was a genius, grounding torture tactic on my mom's part. But yeah, I learned a valuable lesson on this day. Getting very, very stoned before a giant family gathering is a terrible idea for many reasons. I'm glad that my entire family didn't know, although a lot of them probably knew, I'm not gonna lie. But I blame myself, dude. Like, I shouldn't have gotten so defensive at the table. I lied to my mom about what I was doing on my bike. So, that was definitely a nail in the coffin because I was lying about my whereabouts and that made it obvious that I was up to no good. And yeah, man, that's just one of those stories from the vault where I was an idiot. It was all me. Not gonna lie, though, that Thanksgiving food, it was pretty good. I remember that very vividly. It was a good dinner. And I was so fucking full afterwards. Like, holy shit. But yeah, guys, moral of the story is here. Don't be like young Luna, obviously. But yeah, guys, that's the story. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this story time, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I will see you guys later. Peace. Loaded, I be whipping foreign cars. Always stay devoted, mama knew I'd be a star. Now I'm steady flowing, feeling like